so we can watch them over and over again if we miss some episodes. And they're not even waiting for that. They're just going right into November 8th as far as...
It's like they have a deadline or something.
It's being escalated. Something to do with, like the Illuminati, some of their plots have been failing. There's the Rothschild group, and just recently, and I was just doing that research, just finding out this morning, because I had been sick and I haven't been watching any of the news. One of the heads of one of the wings of the Rothschild group had committed suicide.
Oh wow!
And they think this was a real spectacular, newsworthy.
Like one of the main ones of the Fortunes.
Yes, and I didn't get his name yet, so I guess you can Google it if you're out there. Excuse me, Justin, you're going to have to talk a little bit more.
Yeah, that is really interesting. And I guess there's two sides to this whole UFO phenomenon and disclosure, because you got the Stephen Greer side, where they're doing everything they could do within the exopolitics community to bring about disclosure, talking to government officials and that whole network. And then you got people like Bob Dean, which is kind of a little different. He's saying, in his opinion, the Obama administration will never ever talk about disclosure. That's the last thing on their plate. But then you got people like David Wilcock and other enlightened individuals who are talking about it's coming right around the corner. So what exactly will happen? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
right.
Bob Dean was talking about there's like 47 or 49 compartments above the president that the president himself does not have the secret clearance to. He doesn't even know the people to talk to go to that. It's so compartmentalized, all this information and hidden knowledge. So I thought that was really interesting.
Well, it might be world pressure, because this is something to do with the global economy, the global pressure from all the other countries that are wanting to do disclosure. So it may be just that Barack and the timing of everything, he had his hands full, and the people in our government, and as well, with the changes, and then the citizens, going through so much with foreclosures and, market crashes and one thing after another, that they were just probably trying to make the timing to be a little more in synchronicity with something. And I guess all the movies coming out, matter of fact, David Wilcox has a movie that he's putting out, and I don't know exact name it, but it has to do with the 2012 and the convergence. Well, a lot to do with the work of the Law of One, which I know you read all the books on the Law of One, and a spin of a more positive outcome, because there is the higher intelligence, the superior reality, this mind of the creator that's projecting to move in the direction of convergence and transformation of our consciousness to more of the peace and love. But because we have so many shadows ourselves, and within the human race, within each and every one of us, we have dark spots that, whether it be our emotions or our addictions or our habits, we have negativity in ourselves as well, because we're not pure beings of light yet. So this invites, through the law of attraction, other negative beings that come through these stargates or wormholes or whatever, just as a planetary thing, not individually to feel guilty. It's just part of our evolutionary process. We still have these shadows and these dark spots and these unconscious things that we haven't worked out yet. So that's why it's real important, Justin. We have to work, and we have to work hard, and we're trying to get our message out now more than ever, because you just want to be spiritually and psychically and open to this higher presence, this higher intelligence, so that you can catch that wave. Incidentally, that wave I've been experiencing on a quantum kinetic kind of feel, like the lowest, the smallest particles that you can ever imagine.
Down to the sacred geometry.
Down to the sacred geometry that Dr. Paul Lavaletta just gave an interview with Project Camelot, and he was talking about that field is the pulse of creation. And when we tap into that field, we become the field of that oneness, that divine intelligence. and the mind of that intelligence sort of sinks in with our ego mind and pushes that ego mind. It doesn't even push it; it just moves. It's not anything violent or anything, or that you have to kill off or anything. It just moves into the direction where it belongs, more in the back where it's more useful, and and this higher intelligence, this higher mind, moves forward and starts acting in manner of taking on our own real spiritual consciousness, who we really are. So very important right now. I know this message is probably, if you watch our videos every week, that's pretty much what I'm talking about, but it's coming to the point where things are moving so fast that David Wilcock, Sylvia Brown, I mean, all the psychics, all the scientists, everybody who's in these fields are just saying this is the ground where we need to prepare ourselves, because things are going to be happening, and to a greater or lesser degree is how it's going to have an effect on you. And there's a tremendous amount of power with these super galactic waves coming and changing our energy. Like our own electromagnetic fields, our energetic fields. So these things are here to help us grow and move into that space. But if we're rigid and we can't flow, it would like anything else, is destructive. So it's a higher intelligence we're moving into another level of galactic energy that's going to speed up our evolutionary process even faster.
And like shift our DNA.
Awaken
these super abilities.
Right, and and the best thing I can tell anyone, no matter what's going on, lower your entropy, keep the peace inside you, and just work on that. You don't have to solve any problems, because the problems will get solved that are around you, because they're really illusion by themselves. And things will rise to the level that it needs to rise to, or fall to the level that it needs to fall away from you. But the most important thing is that energy, that mass intelligence that you want to move in with. It's like riding the wave of the tsunami. You want to be right on top, where it brings you right into the shore and not crash into all the garbage that's going to move underneath or pull you under with all the things that are dead, and not useful for this new stage that we're moving into.
Right, because it's like we get to choose our own reality and create our own destiny here. So the people that are living within fear and captivated by this negative energy and emotion we call fear, it could be the end for them if we don't ascend. So it is really important to lower your entropy, focus your mind, and open up these energy centers, open up these chakras from within yourself. Because as Nate Stevens said, like, there's stargates within all of us that this universal energy could flow through, and it is literally amazing. With a little focus, what you could really accomplish. I have a few little comments and questions from Nate Stevens. He's a good buddy of mine. Provides me a lot of info on Facebook, Twitter, and on this esoteric information. So I'm just going to read some of his comments, and maybe we could throw this around, make it a little mastermind session here. Earlier, he was mentioning Project Bluebeam. I've seen a little bit on that. Don't know if you're familiar with that.
Is that Blue Book, Project Blue Book?
I think it's Blue Beam itself. So we'll check out the link that he sent us so we can see more about that. And then he said, stage an alien invasion, have it announced across the globe as a new age has dawned. That's what we hear. That's kind of their secret thing going on right now. And holograms beamed on the atmosphere. He mentions HAARP, which is the technology with the electromagnetic. It could cause earthquakes and control the weather. We're very familiar with that. And then he asks a question, what if the disclosure thing is a massive false flag op to install the New World Order? Regain said at the UN. What if what we needed was an alien invasion to bring the nations together against a common enemy?
Well, that's interesting. What if? David Wilcox was just asked that by George Norrie. What if what he was doing was playing right into the hands of the Illuminati? And that's the question, I guess, the $64,000 question. It all has to boil down to